Welcome to the 14th round of WTSS Season 7. We're at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. It's the first time the WTSS has seen this 4-mile road course that twists through the hills here at this famous road course. Jake Stevens put down a qualifying lap that can only be described as unbeatable. Not only that, but he put down two other qualifying laps that still would have been good for pole by over a quarter of a second. The young rookie has scored his third pole of the season, but he's still looking for that first victory. Ryan Reid and Sean Angel, the two championship protagonists, start on the 8th row of the grid. It'll be interesting to see who leaves this race the point leader of the two of them. Fabio Vitabassa and Watkins Glen winner Allison Figueroa on the 2nd row, and Ray Takeda, runner-up at Watkins Glen, on the front row with Stevens. Can a first career victory be on the cards for the young rookie, or will the veterans take over and go to the front of the field, or maybe even some familiar faces like Figueroa or DeMax finding their way to the front? 31 laps around Road America. Let's get to the start. The pace car pulls in. We're going to have 31 laps of action here at Road America. Jake Stevens on pole for the third time this season, and the third time in his very brief start to his WTSS career in his rookie season. Ray Takeda to his right-hand side. They come up the hill to the green flag, and we're underway for the first ever time in WTSS at Road America. And we're already seeing them fan 2 and 3 wide out into that first corner. Jeff McLennan in the 87, peeking inside on the 29 of Alex Bignacco and the 4 of Eugene DeMax. Off of turn number 1, we go 3 wide for a couple of rows back there. Everybody seems to have cleanly made it through. We're still 3 abreast into turn number 3. McLennan on the bottom trying to make the the double overtake. Can't quite fully clear. Figueroa has taken second away from Ray Takeda as we head down to turn 5 for the first time. Side by side for multiple rows back as they all battle down into turn number 5. Stevens leads as we head into the braking zone at turn 5. A couple cars making light contact. We're 4 wide exiting turn 5 here at Road America. You wouldn't think 4 wide would work on a road course, but we just made it work as William Duncan from 38th on the grid has already made it up what looks to be 5 positions on this opening lap, but immediately gets swept around the outside from Shrimp Engritz as he gets held up behind the 75 of James Gibson. Through the carousel for the first time and towards the kink. Jake Stevens the leader ahead of Allison Figueroa. Then it's Ray Takeda, Logan Hill, and Alex Bignacco, the top 5 on this first lap. On the run down to Canada Corner, Jake Stevens leads still over Figueroa, and they have a massive gap over Ray Takeda to begin the first lap of this race. And what a move! Jeff McLennan on Fabio Vitabassa down into the final corner, taking that position from the Kulo Alfa Romeo car, and Tristan Wilhoit attacking Patrick Smith. Smith appears to have some slight rear end damage. I'm not sure who that was that gave it to him, but nonetheless, there is visible damage on the back of the 77. Brandon Krasta in the 63 appears to have possibly had an incident on the opening lap. He's fallen all the way to the back of the field in dead last by quite some margin. Meanwhile, it's Stevens and Figueroa leading the first lap as the 1-2 running order. 2 rookies out front on the road course in Wisconsin as Jeff McLennan dives down the inside at turn 5 on Alex Bignacco now. The 87 is absolutely flying in these opening couple laps. Bignacco tries to fight back around the outside, but then will be switched to the inside lane for the next corner. Barely hangs on ahead of McLennan to keep the 5th position for now. And it's Patrick Smith with some very moderate front end damage on that 77. So now not only does he have rear end damage, but he's got nose damage. And the WeatherTech number 77 looks to be worse for wear, as we're not even a lap and a half through the opening Road America race in the WTSS. McLennan at the kink, tries again on Beniaco. Can't find a way through once more, but that 87 looks wicked fast if he can just find a way through on the 29. I have to wonder if they're going to pit that 77 here at the end of this lap. That car looks worse for wear now, as you see Ryan Bolden making a move on Cale Teskar Jr. Oh, Eugene DeMax dive bombs Fabio Vitabassa the same way that McLennan pulled it on him at the end of the first lap, and that's a big move. Wilhoit gets Patrick Smith for 19th place, and Teskar and Bolden continue to fight, with Teskar hanging on to the position for now. Stevens leads Figueroa, Takeda, Logan Hill, and Alex Beniaco, your top 5. McLennan trying again, down the inside at turn 5 on Alex Beniaco. Second lap in a row he's made this move. Can he make it stick this time? Into the braking zone up at turn 6. McLennan will almost clear the 29, but not quite. Heading down to turn number 7. Round the outside, McLennan goes on the preferred line, taking the 5th position away from the Ditech Van Dalen driver. Sean Angel's got some slight nose damage in the 58. One of your title contenders comes into this race second in the points. That damage is not going to help, especially with the nature of this track, with as long as straightaways as we have here. Stevens and Figueroa are in a league of their own right now in this race currently. They have just made something work. Mitchell Mark has fallen to the back behind Krasta now and brings up the rear of the field. Jeff McLennan going on the attack to chase after Logan Hill and Ray Takeda now for 4th and 3rd. That 87 car looks like it's on a mission. Sebastian Van Dalen on Daniel Voiles for the 9th position. Clears the 13 before the exit of turn 3, and Alex Constantine follows through. Down into turn 5 once more. Tristan Wilhoit on Yuki Tamura. This is for 18th place. Wilhoit around the outside at turn 5 instead of the inside. Not going to find the grip there. And will stay behind the 64 now as Sean Angel is trying to attack Jeffrey Finguy for the 22nd position. Finguy will be on the preferred line here on the exit, but if he doesn't clear, it'll be Angel on the preferred line for the right-hander at turn 7, round the outside of the 92. And Sean Angel moves up into 22nd position ahead of Jeffrey Finguy, but crucially, he's multitudes of positions behind Ryan Reid, the championship leader, and will probably lose points as down the inside at the kink goes Jeff McLennan on Logan Hill. Nearly pulls the pass off, side by side on the run down to Canada Corner. Somehow they both held that wheel-to-wheel, fender-to-fender, and into Canada Corner we go. Jeff McLennan takes the 4th position away from the 11. Sebastian Van Dalen gets through on Eugene DeMax for the 8th position as well, back in the 81 car. But it's Stevens and Figueroa miles ahead of the competition here, exiting the end of lap number 4 now. Sebastian Van Dalen down the inside on Fabio Vitabassa for that 7th position into the first corner. Still alongside down to turn 3. Vitabassa hangs on for the time being. That's Chonarong Wongzawat making a move on Aiden Shepard there for 12th position. Makes it look easy as Figueroa attacks Stevens for the lead, pressuring the 18. For 3rd, Jeff McLennan inside on Ray Takeda at turn 5. And there's a Van Dalen on Vitabassa in the background. Takeda trying to hang on around the outside of Jeff McLennan, who hangs tough on the 50. Can't find a way past for now, but the podium battle is on between McLennan and Takeda. If McLennan takes this 3rd position away, it'll be an all-rookie 1, 2, 3 out front at Road America, which would be quite remarkable. This has been a very talented crop of rookies this season in WTSS, as Sean Angel takes 20th away from Scott Roush heading into the carousel. Jake Stevens continues to lead ahead of Allison Figueroa in the 98. Jeff McLennan has taken 3rd from Ray Takeda, I believe at Canada Corner, when we weren't looking. And he's up into the podium places. But he has a monstrous gap to overcome if he wants to chase after the lead duo. Top 2 continue to run in a league of their own. Stevens just ran his 2nd fastest lap of the race, just barely up ahead of Figueroa. Sebastian Van Dalen down the inside of Alex Bignacco for the 6th position. Trying to make it look easy on the 29 and clears before the 29 can even fight back on the outside. Meanwhile, teammate Wongzawat attacking Alex Constantine for the 10th position. Clears around the outside at turn 7. Big move. This would be Wongzawat's first top 10 of the season if he can hang on to this. It'd be crucial for the rookie who has struggled so hard in comparison to his 2 teammates. Side by side for the lead. Down into turn number 1. Figueroa on Stevens into turn number 1. Inside on the 18. Stevens must have ran wide on the exit of the final corner. Figueroa tries to keep her nose in but can't do it. Stevens keeps the lead on lap number 7, but only just. Stevens pulls a slight bit of a breathing room gap now to Figueroa through the middle portion of the lap, at least just for this lap alone. Sebastian Van Dalen for 5th on Logan Hill takes it down the inside to clear into the top 5. Mitchell Mark reporting a tire vibration of some sort. The team will be monitoring that, of course, but as he is running in the dead last position right now in 40th place, that is not going to be too much of a concern. Their real concern is going to be trying to unlock some performance out of that car through the pit cycle later on. Wong Zawat went for it for 8th on Fabio Vitabassa. Could not find a way through, at least for the time being. But that 08 car looks to be on the attack today. Jake Stevens ahead of Allison Figueroa. Still just barely, nothing between the two of them. Jeff McLennan is quicker than the top two, but he is miles behind them. Then it's Sebastian Van Dalen attacking Ray Takeda for the 4th position. Down to turn number 1, the 81 goes. Speeding into the first corner, making it to the apex first. Sebastian Van Dalen takes 4th away from Ray Takeda. Big move. That's a huge move in the context of the rest of this race as well. Stevens and Figueroa continue to lead ahead of McLennan, Van Dalen, and Takeda, your top 5. Wong Zawat attacking Vitabassa for 8th once again, down to turn 5. Around the outside at turn 7, Wong Zawat goes to clear for the 8th position on the 0-2 of Fabio Vitabassa. Very strong showing from a lot of the rookies in this field. They are showing it to the veterans of this series. One of the most remarkable performances I've seen from a rookie class in any race in WTSS history. Stevens with a bit of a breathing gap now on Allison Figueroa, end of lap 8. It's not much, but it is something. At turn 1, 7/10 of a second now between the top two. McLennan in 3rd, not making any ground up on the lead duo. Van Dalen in 4th, Takeda in 5th. Sean Angel has gotten through on Patrick Smith for that 19th position, but that 77 car is just wounded his entire race. Every single straightaway he's losing time. Rounding through the carousel, Jake Stevens. Still out front of Allison Figueroa, but not by a comfortable margin. It is these two in a class of their own. All the way back in 3rd is McLennan. Chris Louviere under pressure from James Gibson for 32nd place. Gibson fights around the outside, but the preferred line will go to Louviere for turn 7, in which he maintains the position for now and might force Gibson to lose out to Mitchell Carter and Roberto Crown Jr. Maybe even Elijah Innes. Whew. Close quarters between Innes and Gibson there. Down into the kink we go. And they sort it out before they enter that corner side by side. And Figueroa all over the back of Stevens at start finish there. A 10.5 between the two of them. Still both of them unmatched in terms of pace right now. The only person running similar or quicker lap times is Sebastian Van Dalen in 4th. As Wongzawat takes 7th away from Alex Bignacco. We're now going to be a third of the way through this race at the end of this lap. Stevens and Figueroa, the class of the show right now. But we saw at Lime Rock Park that just because a car is far and beyond faster than the rest of the field, and it looks like it's not physically possible to catch them, doesn't mean that is always the truth. DJ Curtis was bulletproof through the first 50 to 60% of that Lime Rock race. And the moment they hit the pit cycle, yes, there was a bit of contact in the pits that resulted in his pace loss. But in a race that seemed like a done deal, it was not a done deal. And Curtis ended up almost dropping out of the top 10 by checkered flag. Oh, and just when his day has already gotten bad, it's gotten worse for Patrick Smith, who blows a tire out of the carousel and limps around his way through the carousel as everybody tries to funnel their way through without hitting him. Miraculously, it looks like everybody got away there. Patrick Smith trying to switch across to the other side of the racetrack in between the traffic so that he can stay out of the way at Canada Corner. Wow, that is just bad luck. Even more so now for the 77. Smith already had major rear and front damage from contact in the braking zone at what probably was turn 5 early on in the race. And it just, now he definitely does not have a chance to make any sort of forward progress as Krasta and Mark make contact with the 77 at the final corner as they try to go past him. Miraculously, it doesn't end in a crash. Patrick Smith makes it to the pits with slightly more damage than he entered the final corner with. And with a tire down, Smith will limp his way to his pit stall. And I don't even believe that's enough, far enough into the race where he can make it on fuel to the end. We'll see, but I really think this is just, from a strategical angle, game over for the 77 crew. Mark Nutt, Shrimp Angritz, William Duncan, Chris Louviere, 2 Hamilton Autosports and 2 Maverick Motorsports. All battling it out right there at the tail end of the 20s. And side by side for the lead, Allison Figueroa noses ahead into turn 1 on Jake Stevens. Stevens must have missed the final corner again, or Figueroa must have dive bombed him. Into turn 2, through turn 3, Figueroa can't find a way through once more, but the battle rages on still out front. Wongzawat on Ray Takada for that 5th position across start-finish, noses ahead of the 50 into the braking zone, clears. And an even more remarkable performance from the rookies in this field has gotten absolutely astounding. There are 11 rookies in this WTSS Season 7 rookie class, and 5 of them are the top 5 positions. I have never seen a rookie performance like this in any season of WTSS. This is unbelievable. I guess when you go to a new racetrack, it's equal footing for the entire field. But my goodness, I was not expecting this. Huge contact. Aiden Shepard plows into the back of Eugene DeMax as DeMax loses 10th to Alex Constantine, and that is major nose damage for the 42 of Aiden Shepard. That's even more than Patrick Smith had earlier. I almost wonder if they're going to bring him into pit now. Did not notice Patrick Smith has come out of the pits just ahead of the race leaders, both of them. So we'll see them encounter Smith eventually here. Figueroa not letting Stevens get away. They have been nose to tail this whole race. They've been side by side on a couple occasions, but so far Stevens has hung on every single occasion they've battled. Yes, Shepard is called into the pits at the end of that lap with that massive nose damage. That was pretty much to be expected. That was a monstrous contact into turn 5. And I almost feel like he could not see partially over the hood of that car, and that resulted in them finally making the decision to come in. Again, I don't know if that's enough for Aiden Shepard to make it to the end on fuel, but we will see, just like with Patrick Smith. A lot of unknowns in this race because we just don't have the sample size of an event here at Road America to be able to figure out what's going to work and what isn't. As Arnie Negrojo attacks Sean Angel for the 18th position. The rookies in this race have just been absolutely remarkable. Nugroho attacking the seasoned veteran, the man who's second in the points. Round the outside at turn 7, clearing the 58 on the exit, and up into the 18th spot. What a race for these rookies. There's 11 of them in this field, and the top 5 are all rookies. There's Patrick Smith in the 77, just up ahead of these guys. So this will be an interesting moment for the traffic here. Jake Stevens, this is the biggest gap he's had over Figueroa all race. Can he capitalize on that? Make quick work of the traffic. Down into the braking zone at turn 5. Is Stevens going to get Smith there? Yes, he will, down the inside. Smith outbrakes him, though, because Smith has fresher tires. He chops the nose of the 18 almost. He has every right to fight to stay on the lead lap. There's no blue flags in this. He's got fresher tires. He's got a wounded race car, though, so on the straightaways, he's going to be hurting. Patrick Smith maintains his lead lap status, at least for now. But Figueroa is all over the back of Stevens. Stevens' 1 second gap has evaporated as the 58 of Sean Angel is reporting a fuel leak on that number 58 Mazda. And that's probably going to be race over. It is incredibly difficult to replace fuel cells in this car when there is a massive leak. And that's probably going to be a DNF. Angel in the 19th position, only 6 positions behind Ryan Reid, was going to minimize the damage loss. That is going to maximize the damage loss as Stevens gets through on the lapper of Patrick Smith and splits Smith between himself and Allison Figueroa. That is one of the best things that Stevens could have done. Oh, and I think Angel's completely ran out. He's out of fuel. That fuel cell completely ruptured to the point in which he has no fuel going to the headers at all at this point now. And he's just coasting down the carousel here at Road America. And it looks like everybody's going to find a way through as he coasts on the inside lane there. And Sean Angel, once gravity is no longer doing its thing and helping him down this hill, it's going to be day over for the 58. So unfortunate. Figueroa finally finds a way through on Patrick Smith, but the damage is done. It's over a second now between Stevens and Figueroa. And into the pits, Alex Constantine goes. Is that our first strategy call of the race? Just before halfway. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Sean Angel's car is still coasting downhill from the carousel down to Canada Corner. There's race leader Jake Stevens going through. Very precarious spot for Angel to be on the exit of the kink there. Gravity is just taking him down the racetrack though. Trying to stay out of the way the best he can, but there's really so much you can do at 10 miles an hour. But at this point, you almost just got to pull off to the grass. There's really nothing else to gain. Angel, sitting in the middle of the racetrack on the run to Canada Corner, doesn't know what to do to get out of the way of Wongzawat here. Wongzawat picks the inside lane and avoids him. I think he's left a cars width now that everybody should be able to sneak past the 58 without issue. But that is an extremely scary and precarious spot for Sean Angel to be sitting in on the racetrack. As the whole field funnels past the 58 now. And he rolls backwards off the racing line, crucially out of harm's way now in that 58 car. As the marshals try to get him back to the pits now. Stevens leads by 2 seconds over Figueroa. All that time she bled trying to get past the lapper of Patrick Smith. And it's going to do some damage. Just past halfway. Now that we're halfway through the lap. On lap number 16, we're just past halfway. Aiden Shepard's undercut strategy from that damage repair has put him ahead of Alex Constantine out of the pits. So Constantine on those cold tires, even though he has an undamaged car, those couple of laps that Shepard pit early, even with the damage repairs, is going to result in him jumping ahead of the 64 car. But now comes the real question.
What's the damage?
Now comes the real question. When does everybody else start to come in for their pit cycle? There is Nugroho down the inside on Will Hoyt for 16th place, but can't find a way through that time. He's been looking strong. He's climbing up the order so far. Trying to crack the top 15.
That's not bad.
Stevens with a healthy gap over Figueroa now. It's no longer the nose to tail it was through the first 13 or so laps of this race. But don't count her out. The gap shrinks once again by 0.2 of a second. And Jeff McLennan, the man running in third position, has just suffered a tire failure on the exit of the final corner. And Maverick Motorsports' woes have continued. On the exit of the final corner from third place. And that is the 14th problem of the season in 14 races for Maverick Motorsports. You just can't write this. Completely indescribable luck for Maverick Motorsports this season. And just as that is happening, people are diving to the pits. Based off of where McLennan's car came to a stop on the side of the track, I think he was actually in the middle of trying to enter the pit lane when his tire blew out. And he could not make it up the hill to the pit lane. Alex Bignacco, Fabio Vitabassa, Eugene DeMax, they're all in the pits. Nobody else commits to it this lap. We're all going to see these guys coming out of the pits here. Where do they come out in relation to the people who've already pit? There's Aiden Shepard now on his own back here. Bignacco safely ahead of Shepard, as is Vitabassa. DeMax, though, might encounter the 42 by the end of this lap. They've got McLennan's car back out on the track within the same stretch of corners as the rest of these guys, so he's not going to lose an entire lap here at Road America, but he's fallen probably to the mid-20s, maybe the low 30s position-wise now in this race. Completely unfortunate. As Jake Stevens leads Allison Figueroa into the pits, Sebastian Van Dalen, our new third-place runner, follows in. Chanarong Wongzawad having a career day in fourth. Will he come in as well? Yes, he will. Lap 17 looks like the money lap. Many cars coming into the pits here. Now the question being, what are pit stop times looking like? Great stop from the Rocket Atkinson team. Stevens gets out miles ahead of Allison Figueroa. That's a way larger gap than they entered the pits in. And the 27 of Kyle Bichelia is reporting a coolant leak on that car, but luckily, it's right as we're about to enter our green flag pit cycle, and they will have a chance to rectify that in the pit lane. Everybody else in the pits is coming in at the same time. This is about to be an extremely busy pit lane at Road America. Yeah, that's going to completely hamper Bichelia's track position. He was 23rd before the issues on that car.
It's been so long since I installed NR again.
Out of the pits, the rest of the field goes.
The fucking sound test jump scared the shit out of me again.
Out of the pits, the rest of the field goes. Multiple cars transitioning. Cold tire runners in the way of the fresh tire drivers. Absolute pandemonium down to turn number 3. 3 wide almost there between Nugroho, Constantine, and Shepard. Somehow, some way, they've all gotten away with it. And yes, it's just as unfortunate as I originally thought. Jeff McLennan has fallen all the way back to the 19th position in that Maverick Subaru. Another problem, another gremlin for that team. They're 14th in the first 14 races of the season. He's got fully heated tires, though, so he's going to be taking advantage while he can as the rest of these guys are coming out of the pits on their outlaps. He's already gotten Dodd. He's trying to get test car now. On the traction off with that tire temp. Clears him quite easily. And now sets his sights after Finn Guy. The gap for the lead is nothing. It was 2 seconds exiting the pits. It's nothing now. Figueroa to the back of Jake Stevens for the lead. She has yet to take it from him all race. She's made 3 separate attempts that so far Stevens has been able to hold off every single time. Is this the moment where the tides turn after they come out of the pits with fresh adjustments and fresh tires? Look at the difference in speed between the hot tire and cold tire runners here at Road America. Even on corners where the outside lane is not preferred, they are making so much ground up right now on other drivers. The undercut was an extremely powerful strategy today, it looks like, which has resulted in multiple drivers making up heaps of positions from where they were before the pit cycle. There's the wounded car of Aiden Shepard, though. He came in early. He gained a bunch of track position from coming in early, but now he's paying the price with his damage and old tires. Patrick Smith is in, so he will have to pit again to make it to the end on fuel. That was what we feared when he came in earlier with that issue. And inside of the final corner, contact is made. Figueroa doors the side of Jake Stevens for the race lead. Side by side down the front straightaway. Stevens overshot the final corner. Figueroa's alongside into the first corner. Can she clear before they get there? Yes, she can. Allison Figueroa leads in Road America. Now, can she keep it, though, is the question. Problem for Cale Teskar Jr. He's reporting he's down a cylinder and is limping back around the racetrack to the pits. Problems for the 26, and that's going to put an end to his top 25 day here at Road America. Figueroa now leads the race ahead of Jake Stevens. Can she maintain it? Was it just a spur-of-the-moment pass out of the pit cycle? We'll find out shortly. McLennan still looks just as fast as he was before all the pits and all the issues. But now he's going to have to come from 22nd place and find his way up the order somehow, some way. Figueroa looks like she's starting to gap the 18 a bit. Did they possibly over-adjust Jake Stevens' car or make a great adjustment to the 98 of Figueroa in response? It'll be interesting to see if there's any of the drivers behind that have made good adjustments that can make them close in on this lead battle, possibly. It's a large gap visually, but a track this large, if you've got a much better car, that gap will just disappear. Teskar is in the pits now, repairing that damage to the engine. And Figueroa pulls a massive gap on Stevens that lap to go up by over a second now on the 18 at the end of lap 20. Teskar will rejoin the race in the 38th position, one lap down, actually 39th position behind Patrick Smith, the last car running. But I guess there's always positions that can be gained through others' misfortune. But so far, it's been a relatively clean affair out here. A few contacts here and there that have resulted in nose and rear damage, but other than that, not a single crash in sight that I can see. There's Constantine on Aiden Shepard for 15th place. Shepard is going to keep falling down the order as this run goes on. And it's going to stay that way, in my opinion. That car is just too wounded to keep up the pace of the cars around it. And it looks like McLennan's older tires and possibly bad adjustment has just stalled him out in 22nd place, which is miraculous, seeing as they had to push that car up the entire hill to get him to his pit stall. But I guess that just shows how much a good start and a good gap can help when catastrophe strikes. Alison Figueroa is going to come up to 10 laps to go here at Road America now, in the lead of the race, putting down lightning lap times and gaps even further to Jake Stevens in second place. Nugroho attacking DeMax for the 11th position in the carousel of all places. Not normally a spot you see passes being attempted or made. He pulls alongside on the run to the kink. And Nugroho fires it down the inside, but DeMax commits harder and cuts off the 45 before they get into the corner. It's going to be 9 to go for Figueroa this time now, and the gap just continues to grow. I don't know necessarily if they made a bad adjustment on the 18. I'm starting to lean towards that direction, that the Jake Stevens crew over-adjusted and miscalled on the adjustment needed to keep that car in the lead, because Figueroa is turning similar lap times to what they were turning in the first half of the race. I don't even know if they touched that car, but I think they adjusted the 18 of Stevens for the worse. And for the third time in just his 14 race career in the WTSS, Jake Stevens is going to lose a race from pole position if something doesn't change here. Nugroho has gotten 11th away from Eugene DeMax. The top 10 in his sights now. Championship leader Ryan Reid, though, has that position for the time being. And Jeff McLennan has made a double overtake at some point on Scott Roush and Daniel Giroux to go up into the top 20. On the attack is the 87 car at the moment being right now. Trying to recover whatever positions he lost that he can possibly get back. Another second pulled away by Figueroa. It's now 3 seconds between Allison and Jake Stevens. If she could score a second victory of the season in just her rookie season, this would be absolutely incredible. Oh, McLennan overshoots the final corner and loses back out to Daniel Giroux for that 20th position. And the forward recovery drive from that 87 is going to get halted at least for a lap or two as he tries to get back past the 2 car.
What?
Look at this 3-way fight for 5th place. Ray Takada trying to hang on ahead of Logan Hill and Alex Piñaco. Very close battle between these three as Arnie Nugroho cuts it down the inside of Ryan Reid for the 10th position, and the championship leader is about to get put out of the top 10 by another rookie impressing here at Road America. The man right up ahead of him in 9th position as he clears Ryan Reid for that position is Daniel Voiles, as Shrimp Engritz, the man who enters this race 3rd in the points, has suffered an engine failure from 26th place. And that's going to be race over as Chris Dodd clips him on the way past, trying to avoid the 59 as they enter turn number 7. And Shrimp Engritz's massive loss from being involved in a crash at Indianapolis is going to get compounded with an engine failure that's going to put him out of the race just 8 laps from the finish in Road America. And that gap is going to surely absolutely balloon on his gap to first place. Nugroho trying to get Daniel Voiles for that 9th position. Voiles has needed much needed a pick-me-up this season. The results have just not been there, so a top 10 would be a huge morale boost for that Cooler Alfa Romeo team. This is for 9th place, though, so we won't lose a top 10 if Nugroho sneaks through here. Inside, into turn 1, Nugroho outbreaks the 13. Runs along the curb on the inside of the corner, stays alongside on the run to turn 3. Braking hard down the inside goes Nugroho to clear Voiles, who now gets put vulnerable to Ryan Reid for the 10th position and might drop out of the top 10 after all. And Engritz finally makes it back to the pits. Just in time for the man's 6th position, Logan Hill, to blow an engine as well. One of your dark horse title contenders this far into the season. And they're just dropping like flies as the race runs on here at Road America. Hill now limping back to the pits with an even worse engine failure than Engritz. And that's from 6th place, too. The big points gain he was going to make on championship leader Ryan Reid is absolutely out the window now. And now it's just his job to get back to the pits, pull it in, and call it a day. As the rest of the field tries to funnel their way through on the way to the kink here. It's very sketchy to catch a slow, damaged car at this point in the racetrack, and he does his best job to get out of the way and stay out of the way from the leaders here. Hill trying to cross across the... Oh, horrible crash in the background! Scott Roush upside down into the fencing! I saw that in the background! I don't believe what I just witnessed! Elijah Innes involved as well! And a race that had been so incident-free for the entire day results in a terrible accident at the kink. As we were watching Logan Hill limp back to the pits, we saw it in the background of our picture. We'll have to go back and look at it briefly as we watch Hill try to safely navigate his way to the pit lane. Looked like some massive damage to Elijah Innes' car. I believe Roush landed on top of him. And he's going to limp back to the pits, likely to retire as well. And as Allison Figueroa approaches 6 laps to go, we need to go back and look to see what happened to Scott Roush just now and Elijah Innes here at Road America. So as you can see, they're coming through the carousel here. McLennan trying to run around the outside of the 7 of Ryan Bolden. They come down to the kink. Oh, Innes clips Roush in the left rear, and they go flying into the tire wall. And upside down goes the 6 of Scott Roush after getting pinched into the barriers by the 1 of Elijah Innes. Oh, hard hit. Basically to a dead stop from full speed for the 6 car. And a tough break for Scott Roush, who was running towards the top half of the field. His day is over, and as is Elijah Innes's, just due to a simple misjudgment. Back to live pictures. Allison Figueroa leads with 6 laps to go, with a 5.3 second lead over Jake Stevens, and without some divine intervention, nothing is going to stop her from winning this race and getting her 2nd victory of the season. But I say without divine intervention because man oh man, has there been some in this race. Multiple drivers have been just dropping like flies. Mechanical failure after mechanical failure after mechanical failure. And I said earlier that Jeff McLennan was going to need to re-overtake Daniel Giroux to start making forward progress. But Daniel Giroux just looks genuinely quick. He's just cracked the top 15 now, and he's trying to take 14th from Aiden Shepard and just turned his fastest lap of the race in that 2-car. Your race winner at Indianapolis looking like his pace was not a fluke last week, and on a road course of all places is now showing even more as he recovers possibly towards the top 10 in the dying stages of this race. Another driver on the move is William Duncan. Started this race in the 38th position due to bad traffic in qualifying. We know he has so much more speed on the road courses than that. We watched it at Willow Springs. And now, in that same liveried car, he's inching towards the top half of the field after starting on the second to last row of the grid in what is a miracle recovery drive from the 6th season veteran. Out front, though, the gap continues to grow. About a second a lap, Figueroa to Stevens. They obviously over-adjusted the 18, and he's just got nothing left to try and chase and keep up with the 98. There's Nugroho on Vita Bassa for 7th place, and the drive through the field for the 45 continues as he flies past the Alfa Romeo. Speaking of flying past Alfa Romeos, Ryan Reid takes 9th away from Daniel Voiles on the exit of the final corner. With a swift overtake there. And as we come down to what will be 4 laps to go here at Road America, Figueroa took the lead as we took 10 laps to go. And she's absolutely ran away with it with a struggling Jake Stevens trying to keep up as best he can. Right now, it would be a 3rd place for Sebastian Van Dalen and a best career finish for Chanarong Longzwad in 4th. Man, keep an eye on Daniel Giroux. He is fast. A top 10 would not be counted out right now. He's one of the fastest cars on the racetrack in these dying stages in 14th place. As William Duncan cuts underneath the 87 of Jeff McLennan to try and go into the top half of the field for 20th place. Can't find his way through there. Forced to defend from Jeffrey Finguy now. The gap continues to grow. 7 seconds now between Figueroa and Stevens. And as long as that car continues to just keep running, she's home free for a 2nd career victory. Ryan Bolden in the 7 car, very quietly having a strong showing today here at Road America. It has been a struggle for the Embleton Honshu squad this season. They have not found much pace, especially on the road courses, but today, a 19th place finish would be a good pick-me-up and showing that they possibly are making some forward progress on that road course package. As McLennan continues to try to attack him for that position. And Daniel Giroux just turned the fastest lap on the racetrack last time by in that 14th position. He catches Tristan Wilwick for 13th. And at the rate he's going, he could get all the way to 8th place if he continues to keep making passes lap after lap here. Would have been really interesting to see if they could have made an adjustment like that to start the race. Crazy lap this far into the run. As Figueroa comes to start-finish to take 3 laps to go at Road America. Her first win at Watkins Glen. Now that was a nail-biter. Barely got it from Ray Takeda in the dying stages with a good timed pass on lap traffic to get ahead of the seasoned veteran. But now, you gotta say, this one has been more than earned. And as long as everything holds together for just 3 more laps, it's gonna be home free for the 98 to get Reid Family Racing their second victory of the season. And her second career victory. 3 cars that are effectively just holding up the 2-car of Daniel Giroux. He is so fast. He is diamonding the carousel, cutting down to try and get the runoff on the 17 of Will Hoyt. So much grip and so much confidence from that 2-car compared to the cars around him. Can Giroux find a way through on Will Hoyt here at the final corner? He cuts down the inside, makes it look easy, and clears before the exit. Giroux up to 13th now to chase after Tamura for 12th. Man, it's been an exciting watch to watch that 2-car. Nearly makes a move down the inside at turn 1. That is a ridiculous setup and adjustment they've got going on that 2-car. Coming to 2 laps to go for Alison Figueroa off the final corner. She's almost not even within the same straightaway as Jake Stevens now. And don't count Arnie Nugroho out for a top 5 finish. He's caught Alex Bignacco for the 6th position now, and Ray Takada is just up the road, and my goodness, is he turning fast enough laps to get there. Your Lime Rock Park winner by just mere feet over Jeffrey Finguy. Now trying to make it work to get up and get another top 5 finish on a road course for what has turned out to be a really strong showing for this fledgling outfit, Jakarta Auto. There's Giroux through the carousel, nearly cutting underneath Yuki Tamura to get the 12th spot away through the carousel, but thinks better of it for now. And the more time he spends stuck behind this 60, the more chance it's not going to be that he gets up and finishes in the top 10 in this race. Oh, and he overshoots, locks up into Canada corner, and misses the turn. And now he's going to have to make all that ground back up on Tamura. Barely keeps Will Hoyt back to keep the 13th spot for now. Oh, but Tamura misses the last corner, and that is crucial. That is the exact opportunity Giroux needed to make up and act like nothing ever happened and continue to chase after the 60. Ooh, he's almost eyeing up a pass there into turn 1. He is eyeing up a pass into turn 1. Dive bomb from the 2. Nearly gets alongside the 60 by the apex of the corner. And it is an aggressive charge from Daniel Giroux. Oh man, that group's about to encounter Cale Teskar Jr., who's down a cylinder. The straight line speed is just not there on that 26, as he just tries to continue to survive through this race and pick up pieces where everybody else DNFs. We're now into double-digit gaps out front. Alison Figueroa, 11 seconds clear at the white flag. It'll be 1 lap to go, less than a lap to go now, for an incredible rookie who has put up incredible results in the first 14 races of her young career in the WTSS. We see a bunch of battles going on throughout the rest of the field. Giroux still attacking Tamura for the 12th spot as he approaches the final lap as well, riding the back bumper of that 60 car down to Canada corner. You almost have to wonder if this is the moment where he makes the move for 12th place. And it's been an exciting watch to see that 2 car fly through the order on this adjustment they've made on that car. I just don't think the top 10 is within reach. I think that he just spent too many laps behind the 60 for it to be a chance, as everybody else begins their final lap. But miles up the road, untouchable, in a completely different zip code since the moment she took the lead from Jake Stevens on lap number 20. Allison Figueroa, you have to say, she stole that one at Watkins Glen to get her first career victory. That was Ray Takada's race to lose, and she took it. But today, at Road America, she outclassed and outraced Jake Stevens and will deny the young rookie his first career victory by getting herself her second career victory. Allison Figueroa rounds the final corner and up the massive hill on the front straightaway to the checkered flag. Figueroa gets her second victory of the season and the second win of her career here at Road America in the inaugural race of WTSS at Road America. Jake Stevens fought valiantly. He's going to have to settle for a second place finish, but it is an unreal showing for Rokit Atkinson Racing. Stevens comes home in second. Van Dalen comes home in third. And just you wait, because at long last the result has come for Chanarong Wangzawat, who will round the final corner and secure a fourth place finish in a 2-3-4 for the team that was brand new coming in from touring cars and have now made their name in the world of stock car racing. Takada is going to round out your top 5 as Nugroho's forward progress stalled on the rear bumper of Alex Mignacco. And then we have in 8th, Fabio Vitabassa, Ryan Reid in 9th, and Daniel Voiles is going to get that much-needed top 10 as a pick-me-up on his season. Giroux is going to come up just a couple corners short of a top 10 finish as he chases DeMax all the way to the line for 11th. Tamura settles for a 13th place finish, but that's good points to build on after a couple of rough weekends. And I think Giroux is going to give it a shot here on DeMax in the final corner for the 11th position. Drag race to the line between the two of them. The checkered flag cannot come quicker for the 2 car. And across start finish, Giroux will steal 11th at start finish from Eugene DeMax. Tristan Wilhoit finishes 14th. Aiden Shepard drives that wounded number 42 home to a top 15. And as the rest of the cars come across the line, this is our provisional running order as it stands. William Duncan from 38th on the grid recovers to a top 20 in the top half of the field with a late charge. Kyle Bisceglia crosses the line, the last car on the lead lap. 5 drivers DNF'd with Logan Hill, Scott Roush, Elijah Innes, Shrimp Engritz, and Sean Angel not seeing the checkered flag. A disaster for Hamilton Autosport today, which will surely extend Ryan Reid's championship lead into territory of a massive points lead. But there was only one name on top of the scoring pylon from the moment we finished that first pit cycle. She ran away with it and never looked back. Congratulations to Allison Figueroa, your winner here at Road America. We'll see you next race for the only dirt track on the schedule at Knoxville Fairgrounds for the halfway point of WTSS Season 7.